Hey Leo, this is your general tarot reading for Leo, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of May. Leo, let's do as we always do. We're going to shuffle the cards and wait on all the right ones to come out for you, my love. And in the meantime, let's talk about the energies that you may feel throughout this month. So we're leaving behind April, still feeling that strong effect of the full moon in Libra that happened for you in the third house. It could have marked a real period for you, Leo, where communications got a bit intense. They got a bit strong, and maybe you heard something, heard a whisper, maybe scrolling through social media, saw something, a comment, or some news, or some communication, or some words that were said, forced you to, I don't know, really feel that's unfair. The words that were said were unfair, and they've kind of triggered me a little bit, or maybe even more than a little bit. So you're still coming out of that. The good news is that the worst of that period seems to be over. This intense need to come away from the he said, she said, the gossipers, the ones who always have that bit too much to say. You're coming away from that finally, so that's a good thing. But also the third house is where we have travel, communication. So there could have been a really busy time for you, Leo, where it was all systems go, where you had to study things, maybe going to night classes, learning things like learning a language or learning something, and it was all your focus on getting key pieces of information together. So your mind was very, very, very active. Now the third house is neighbours, acquaintances and brothers and sisters, and maybe with those people you might have found that the communication got a bit weird, a bit unfair, and maybe in some cases a bit tricky. But the good news is, which I really like for you, Leo, is that you're keeping your dignity, you're keeping your reputation, because that's what Taurus season is all about for you. Like this card says, you're weighing up the fakes from the real thing, people in your life, family members, brothers, sisters, neighbours, acquaintances, work colleagues, clients. You're weighing it all up now, and you're saying, this person is a negative influence in my life, this person can stay. It's sifting out the trash from the treasure. Yeah. So that's a lot of what you're doing. But what I was saying there, the good news is with Taurus season, you're being very responsible and you're keeping your reputation despite what's being said, despite how they come at you, despite the trickiness that some people are, they're trying to bait you into an argument even, or have been doing that. And you are holding your ground and keeping your head held high. Now in some cases with the sun in the 10th house and with Taurus season very strongly focused on the 10th house, there's a real moment where if somebody is coming at you, challenging you, trying to debate you, trying to goad you, trying to say something, trying to gossip, then as much as you'd like to go in for the kill and pull that real lion and lioness attack on them, you kind of do also feel that there might be people watching. You know, this is a moment where you'll say, okay, I can't get away with going in on the attack this time, because a lot of people are waiting for my response, are watching to see how I behave here, are maybe thinking that I'm going to be triggered by some communication, but I'm not going to be. Because when they're all looking at me, here's what I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them that I've got this under control. I'm going to show them that they don't get to take down my reputation, because I'm in control of this, very much so. So that's a strong energy there. But the biggest energy for those of you really on a mission with something ambitious, be it in your career or something else that you're doing, this is a month of huge recognition, huge success, where people are looking at you and saying, Leo is the person I trust. Leo is the person whose side I'm taking. Leo is the person that when I look at the way they behave, when I look at the work that they do, when I look at the projects they deliver, whatever it is they're creating, that's class, that's quality, that's the real shit right there. So you're able to stand up and be proud and push your reputation even further. And it's going to be a bit of hard work, but you can do it. So for those of you changing up your career, really focused on doing something ambitious, doing interviews, trying to solidify and impress key people, impress your boss, impress somebody, I don't know, whoever that might be for you, this is where it happens. You're very impressive, Leo. Very impressive. And that's a good place for you because it builds up your confidence. People are watching you and saying, as I said, Leo gets the job. Leo did it right. Leo handled that the best way. Leo is head and shoulders above everybody else. So that's very good. Now, if it isn't to do with your career, in terms of being a responsible person in your family life, with your friends, being a leader, being an organizer, being somebody who pulls all the people together and says, let's go this direction. That's a big win for you this month. People are willing to follow you. So that's good. Which is good if you work on social media. This could be a great time for some of you because you might see your numbers going up, 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 up. Very, very nice. Now, May 4th, in Taurus season, there's the new moon in Taurus in the 10th house. So it could be a change of career, or new responsibilities. You're ready to take on bigger responsibilities to forge further in your career. It's like, you know, if you found that you've put your foot inside some career arena and you're like, when's the right time to go in for the kill here and to really impress everybody? This is it. This is the time. And you're very focused on your career. And it's hard work, as I said. It will be a bit draining, a bit tiring. It will, Leo, it will. But it's worth the push. Definitely worth the push. Now, May 6th, Mercury in Taurus in your 10th house. May 15th, Venus in Taurus in your 10th house. So you're coming up with some great ideas to push yourself ahead. In terms of your ambition, in terms of your career, and in terms of being in charge of something. I know we always say 10th house is career, but very often it's to do with being the leader, being the boss, being the one who stands up in your family and says, you know, this is how we're doing it now. I make the decisions. I'm the key person. I'm the front person. So it's good. It's very, very good. Great ideas for leading some good new direction in your life, Leo. So that's powerful. But with Venus in Taurus in the 10th house, some of you, for those of you looking for love, you might find it with the boss, with a key person, a top CEO, a top figure, a famous person, somebody with good morals, good reputation, somebody who, when they walk into the room, all heads turn and look at them. Now, Leo, at the best of times, you're attracted to that kind of person because you sense the power. Leo will always sense the power in another person and be very attracted to that. So love could come in the form of a very powerful person. For those of you in a relationship, money, you see, Venus has a lot to do with money too. You could be making really bold, big decisions in terms of your joint finances, maybe, yeah. Or making a big decision to get your money together to maybe do some traveling, because Mercury and Venus had been in the 9th house, and that's a lot to do with education, traveling, and just going further afield somewhere. So you could be really doing all that. It's a good time. And let's not forget, some of you could be really focused on getting work visas together. I said this to Virgo too. They have a similar vibe. Getting work visas together, travel documents together to work abroad, getting all your passports, everything together. That's where we could be seeing you dealing with official bodies. Maybe even sometimes the courts or legal people, where you need them to kind of come in and get a document pushed through, get your visa pushed through, something like that. But all the while, it's all good. It's all good for you. And for those of you who are studying, this could be a really successful time for you. For those of you who've been applying or maybe applying for interviews, if you're finishing your studies, this could be a successful time. Some of you might just feel that success. Hopefully, if you've done exams, this could be a good month where you get winning results, okay? I can't promise that, but it would be a good time to see that happen. Now, May 16th, Mars moves into Cancer, into the 12th house. Now, it's always also in there with the North Node. So this is where you could be letting go of an awful lot of things, Leo. The 12th house is sometimes where we grieve, where we have time to sit in silence and say, it's time to let some of these heavier feelings go. It's time to let some of these heavier fears go. It's time, particularly with work and your health, there could be a real moment where you're saying, I've overdone it worrying about my health. I want to be healthy and I want to be on a good track. I want to get everything manageable, but I don't want to become obsessed with it. It's time to let go of some of the fears around my health and manage as best I can and do as best I can without trying to be perfect. Maybe I won't get my health situation perfect, but I'm not going to be afraid of it. I'm not going to keep forcing myself to, it's almost like, again, we touched upon this last month, like punishing your body for what's going on inside. You've got to let that go, really. No more punishing of that beautiful Leo body, please, please. You should now learn to handle your limits. Know when you should be eating well or exercising well, and know when to stop and have a little bit of fun, indulge in a different way. Balance, my love, balance, balance, balance. Remember to enjoy your body, enjoy your health, no matter what level it's at, okay? But also in terms of your work, I see you making big moves this month to say, to hell with this. I'm not afraid to go and do something that scares me. Now that might be I'm not afraid to travel far away to work. I'm not afraid to work alone. I'm not afraid to work at night. I'm not afraid to work in silence. I'm not afraid to leave that whole busy work thing behind and do some private work. 12th house is a place where we might work alone, work in secrecy, maybe work doing research, investigation, work doing any of the deeper sciences. But it's almost like spirituality. Some of you might work with counseling or psychology, or even 12th house is the house where people pass on to the next part of their journey. Some of you could decide that this is a great time to become a bereavement counsellor. Things like that. It's like making a big switch in your career that does something for you that's more meaningful. That's the point. It's more meaningful, where the universe must be allowed to be in the middle and guide you to where you're going. The 12th house requires us to suddenly come to the realization that there's more at work in our lives than just what we can perfect and control. And so I see you this month kind of coming to that realization of, I can't control everything. I can't try to force everything. And even when I do, it's still not enough. I need to just let it go and trust that the universe knows what it's doing. And trust my sense of spirituality. Trust. Definitely trust. But to let go of some of these big fears. Now really, if some of you do have some really big fears and phobias, like a real fear phobia, a fear of flying, a fear of maybe even death in some cases, or a fear of transformation, a fear of change, a fear of something, this is where you could see a big kind of, you know what, I don't care, I just trust that the universe knows what it's doing. So it's a lot like that. Very psychic energy too this month, very psychic, with Mars in Cancer. Cancer is the family. So some of you might be very interested in spending a little time in quiet, talking to the people who have gone, talking to your ancestors, praying, being psychic, being in tune with your own spirit, and really being in that zone, Leo, which I do love when you're in that zone, because you use your fire energy and you bring it to a wonderful space that, I don't know, you get a great level of comfort when you go into that whole psychic space. It feels at times for you like it's home, I'm safe. And then once you have that touchstone, then you can go back and do your things again. Leo must always have moments in their lives of spirituality. I always feel that. I always see that with you, Leo. So this is a good time for that to happen. Now, Mars in Cancer, in the family and home kind of area where there are strong emotions. Some of you might be saying goodbye to your home. You might be moving very far away, changing something up, moving so far away that it's not easy to come back and forward to your original hometown or to your family. So there might be a few tears about that. Some of you might be saying goodbye to a family home or something that means a lot to you, or someone that means a lot to you. But it's time, and you're very supported by the universe this month to allow that process to happen, because you are very supported in everything that's going on. Really, you are, Leo. Now, May 18th, full moon in Scorpio, again in the 4th house. So Leo, 4th house again is family, home. Some of you might be feeling very strong, intense emotions about some family issue, some home-related issue, the buying and selling of a home, the moving away from your home. The feelings get strong. And I would say to you, keep remembering that this is a month where you're keeping your integrity, you're keeping your dignity, and you're keeping your class, Leo. Essentially, your good Leo class. Because it could be family situations that trigger you into feeling that you're being a little bit manipulated by certain family members, or feeling that the crisis or the drama that they bring could be a little bit overwhelming and intense for you. So do remember to take care of yourself around the full moon, May 18th, because it will get intense. But again, Leo, just because it's going to get intense, just because there may be tears, just because a lot of stuff might be dug up for you to deal with, challenging stuff, tricky stuff, it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It means that once you see it, once it's there, you can deal with it and do what the North Node of Destiny wants you to do, and just say, it doesn't matter. I'm ready in my life, in this chapter of my life, to let that go. To just let it go. I feel a gentleness through this month, really, for you, Leo. It's almost like there are two things happening. As you become stronger in yourself, as you move ahead in your career, as you become a reputable person who's not triggered by small-minded people, you're getting stronger, which supports you as some of this underneath stuff starts coming up to the surface. Those fears, those high intense emotions. Remember that you are supported. You will have success, and part of that success is clearing out all that unwanted emotional shit that might be triggered by a family or home situation, okay? But May 21st, the Sun moves into Gemini and Mercury moves into Gemini. So by the end of the month, there is definitely a success. Your ambitions are going to see you win out here, Leo. If you have your eye on a prize, if you're going into competition or pushing ahead for something very futuristic, if your work involves predicting trends or doing something cutting edge or dealing with ideologies or dealing with social media or large groups of people, this is a win for you, a win. And you might find that by the end of the month, your friends are everything. The people around you are everything. A new environment that you might find yourself in is everything, Leo. Everything. It's success. It feels good. It makes you happy. And you feel like, I'm ready to keep going. I'm ready to get more of this success. So I love that. I love it. See, this month has some great, great, great things for you to support you as some of the trickier emotional things happen. So it's all good, Leo, all good. But definitely travel and work is a big theme. Traveling and going far, far away. Maybe working with foreign people or religious people or highly educated people. This could be where some of your good news comes for you. So Leo, we're waiting on 3 cards. Let's get these 3 cards going on. All right, come on, come along, come along. Leo. Oh, we can't let the sun fall. What's that all about? Leo, the sun, your ruler, shining, which I like, shining beside a card of celebrating something. Let's get 2 more cards. Let's get the good ones. Come on, we've got the sun. This one jumped out. Leo, look at this, the rainbow, the happy ever after. Did I not tell you by the end of the month this was all going to work out for you? This was all going to get better. Oh, Leo, you know what, as I'm tuning in towards the end of the month, feeling it's happiness. It is happiness, it's success, and it's you feeling bold and brave and kind of like it was worth the hard work. It was worth the effort. It paid off. It pays off. It pays off, my love. One more card. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, and this one turned itself over. The King of Cups. A love card. A love. You certainly be feeling the love, the love, the love by the end of the month. Leo, let's do this thing. Let's, ta-da, go over to your big grand overview. So, you're weighing up the pros and cons of something here. Maybe the weighing up who is part of your group now and who's not. After the moon in Libra, you saw some unfairness. You saw some, you heard some truths, but they might not have come from a good place. And that left you feeling a little bit, you told me the truth, or I heard the truth, but I kind of like you even less now because you told me that truth. It's like, did I need to hear that? Did you need to say that? Did you need to be so bitchy? Did you need to have those words? I don't know. I just think it was unfair. I think it was uncalled for. And all you've done now for me is force me to weigh up whether you're a good person or not. So that's happening for some of you, weighing up a situation, the pros and cons. Now, the other thing that'll be happening here is many of you will be weighing up the pros and cons of starting some new big adventure in your life, traveling, doing a totally different career, changing everything up. Maybe some of you might feel that you're being pushed into a corner. I don't know why I'm getting that, but feeling like that you've been painted into a corner, but you will come out fighting. Of course. Did I expect anything less from Leo? Anybody pushes you into a corner, you'll come out fighting. But it's this push and this pressure, Leo, that I find it's almost like, the pressure, the heat and pressure that ultimately makes the diamond. You suddenly get the clear perspective, the clear understanding of this is where I'm going. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm putting on all my fabulous red gear, getting out there, putting on my hat, and I'm going to step out of my tower. It's been comfortable there, but I need to go further afield. I do still need to weigh up the pros and cons of how that can happen, but I sense that there's adventure for me. I sense I need a bit of newness, a bit of new adventure. I know there are risks involved, but I feel that it's the right thing for me to do, the right thing to take calculated risks. Jupiter retrograding in Sagittarius in the 5th house. 5th house is where we often take risks. Retrograding, maybe taking calculated risks to do something that Sagittarius wants, to be free, to be a bit wilder, a bit bolder, and maybe to travel. Yeah, some of you might be looking at your bank account and saying, I probably need to either get a loan here, or you're weighing up whether you have enough money. Do you need to borrow a bit of money? what needs to happen in order for me to go and be bigger, be more, be successful. So money might come up there. But the hard work doing something that you absolutely love will pay off. This again goes back to what I kind of tried to touch upon earlier, which is that the work you're doing, Leo, it has to have meaning, it has to have purpose. And I feel that a lot of you are really wanting to change up your career to be like somebody who cares more. It's almost like, how can I look at myself in the mirror if I can't respect myself with the work that I'm doing? I have to be able to look at myself in that mirror, be proud of what I do. It's not just about the money. Being Leo, I will make that coin. There's no doubt about that, but it's not about that. I want to rise, I want to be ambitious, but I want to be very proud of myself. I want to exercise more generosity. If I'm going to hold this position of power, I want to use it to make myself proud and to make other people happy. Some of you working in some sort of entertainment arena or event organization thing, because I feel that it's like this new position of responsibility for me will give me the platform I need to show people that I am a good, decent person and that I am in touch with them, or that I am in touch with something nobler, of course, Leo, of course. So it's not all about the money anymore. Was it ever? I don't think so. It's not all about rising to the top position anymore, which you do like to be there. This is all about integrity, Leo, and heart energy and caring and being kind has a lot going on with this decision you're making. And that seems to mean something important to you. It matters to you. It matters. Now, for some of you, you might find that it's very, 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 very hard work right now in terms of love. Very hard work trying to express your love to somebody else. Maybe they're not listening, they're not paying attention. You're saying, look at me, I'm doing big, generous things for you here. I'm trying to bring the love to this situation here, but it's hard work. You're making me work for this. You're making me sweat for it. But I think it's something that you want to do, Leo. I see you putting in a lot of hard work for somebody to see how much you care. Now that could be a lover, but it's not always the case. You're putting a lot of hard work in to, again, I just keep going back to this, Leo, to be seen as somebody who has a heart. To be seen as somebody who is very loving. To be seen as somebody who is romantic. Some of you putting a little bit of hard work in to put some romance back into a relationship, or to put some romance into attracting a new love. It pays off. It does pay off, Leo. You're charming. The hard work of charming the pants off somebody is definitely going to pay off. Now look at this mid-month. I wonder, is it coming from home or family issues here, or even your work? So it's work life, home life, family life. There's a feeling of, I've spent too long struggling with this situation. I've spent too long trying to keep all of this balanced. I've spent too long trying to do the right thing. But every time I try to do the right thing, I end up not getting ahead. I end up being cast out. This is the card of loss, of being ostracized, of being pushed out, rejected. And I feel maybe for some of you, you felt like that with your career. And I did say earlier, I feel that some of you are being put under pressure this month to make a career decision. Maybe some of you might feel the threat of redundancy, or just feel that it's too much pressure to stay in this work atmosphere. Those bitches are just too hard to work with. and I'm not making enough money to put up with this. I need to not feel so with my career that I'm going nowhere. I need to be able to get right inside, into where the party's at, into where it's all happening. And I need to recognize that I don't have to keep asking. I've got to push ahead. I've got to make this happen in my career. So you're doing it. You're being bold and brave enough, I think, Leo, to demand in some way that you move up a gear in your career. And if you can do this with all your charm and charisma at the moment, to kind of really push ahead, you'll get out of this feeling of I'm going nowhere, I'm just going round and round and round, not getting the money I want, not ever breaking through. But you will. But how do you do it? Look at this, You have to let something go. You have to allow the tower to fall. You have to allow the old structure, the old belief around your career and around what you've been trying to keep together with your family. You've got to let it go. This is the card of a necessary disaster. And you're saying, what? A necessary what? Disaster? Please don't tell me there's disaster coming for me this month. Don't. But really, this card represents a triggering moment where something that should have gone a long time ago, Leo, is now being let go of. And the strange thing is that very often we support structures because we're used to them. But these structures that we put so much money, time, effort, energy, focus into are often the very things that are holding us back, keeping us down, making us feel at a loss. In terms of family, trying to keep the certain family members together, brothers, sisters, after the full moon in Libra in the third house, trying to keep certain things together. And yet you always feel like you don't benefit from it, that it's going nowhere, that no matter how hard I try, I'm always rejected and pushed outside. It's got to fall. It's not working. It's not working. And this month, with all the energy in the 10th house, I think you're initiating, you're the initiator, you're the one who stands up as the responsible person with good character and good judgment for everybody to see and say, I declare that the old way of doing all of this is now officially finished. The season has ended. It's over. It's done. That way of always being held back in my career, dealing with those gossips which we spoke about in work, dealing with those perfectiony, persnickety assholes, I am gone. I'm not going to let my work take away my health. And for some of you, this family situation, family business, family home issues, family emotional dramas, I am not going to let that destroy my health. I'm not going to let that make me feel that there's no joy in this situation anymore. I'm not giving it my focus because I've weighed it up and I've decided that that tower has to fall. It has to fall. But look, when it does, Leo, when you make that decision, you get recognized as being, that was the right thing to do. That was a success. You spoke your truth. You spoke your mind. Despite everybody saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You'll ruin your reputation. Don't change your career. You'll ruin what you've got. Don't try to get up there with the high-ranking people or the key figures in your work. You'll mess it up. You'll mess it up. And you do exactly the opposite. Instead of messing it up, you actually gain a success. So it's like the thing you feared, the thing of going out there and saying, well, this, here's the reality. This is how it is. This is what I want. Speaking truth and coming from a good place brings you success, Leo. A lot of success. And also what it does, it makes you finally realize that there's no need to keep pushing anymore. That this one last thing that you do with a career situation or a family or home selling maybe situation, this one last big, honest, decent push that you say, well, here it is. Tell the truth and let the devil be shamed. That's the last push that brings you success. After that, it's like an old skin that needs to be shed so you can emerge into a new chapter of your life. Because at the end of the month, Leo, Mercury in Cancer, it's like you're freer to speak your mind about a family situation. And once it's like the truth is out, or it's all, well, here's the truth, here's how it is, then people will admire you. They'll say, God, maybe you were fighting amongst each other in a family situation. And it's like, you know what, we really all need to sit down and talk. With the Sun and Mercury on May 21st, communication and healing, going into the 11th house where there are groups of people, we should all sit down together and talk about this. And that brings the healing. It's wonderful energy for you, Leo, really wonderful. And even if certain family members still can't get past it when you sit down to talk, in a way it kind of doesn't matter, because what it does is it shows you that you can get past it. You've tried, you've stood up, you've been responsible, you've told the truth, you've let it all out, you've given each other a larger space to speak to each other and trash something out on a real heart and soul level. And if they can't be good with that, then you can. It's almost like, well, I've done it, I've tried, I've given it my all, and I'm releasing it now. I can't say I didn't try, honestly, genuinely, sincerely, from my heart and soul. And because of that, now I'm free. There's a great cleansing that comes when you do that. But in terms of your work and travel, I keep feeling that, and maybe even study success, here by the end of the month, we see great things happening for you, Leo. This is success. The sun shining on all of you, raising a glass together. Even some people having a little bit of a raise the glass moment with certain people that you kind of have to watch out of the side of your eye, but you're saying, I'll tolerate you for this moment. Let's just raise that glass. So you could be celebrating at the end of the month, and like I said, some people might not be your cup of tea or might not be your glass of champagne, but you're like, it's okay, I'm Leo, I've got this, I've got the upper hand here in some great way, shape or form. So you're cool with that, Leo. But again, look, the sun then on the other side, the sun, when the sky's clear and when it shines through the rain, through the sadness, it forms a rainbow, a bridge towards your emotional happiness, Leo. The sun brings the rainbow. You're happy and you're feeling emotionally content. Now for me, this is very much a Neptunian card, Neptune and Pisces. Now, Pisces is where we grieve, as I said, or we say goodbye to something once and for all. Strong emotions, because you have Neptune in the 8th house. Strong emotions of saying a final farewell to something, to somebody. But that's where the healing finally comes. It could be a very, very emotionally transformative month for you, Leo, where by the end of it, you feel okay. You feel like this is something that I've come through. I've mastered this, mastered it. And you'll find that there are some very loving and supporting people around you this month, particularly towards the end of the month, who help you shine, who say, come on, Leo, keep shining, keep pushing through. We support you, we're by you. When you shine and beam and put all the color of your creativity, of your love, of your ambition, of whatever it is you're doing, we will cheer you on as you bring that. You know, look at them all. They're all saying, look what Leo's done. He's shown his true colors and his true creativity, and he's opened up his soul, and he's brought out the energy of the heart. I feel that, and in doing that, people love it. And this makes you feel strong, Leo. It makes you feel strong We touched upon it a while ago, doing something that brings you integrity, something that you're proud of in your life, feeling that pride and using this beautiful heart energy and emotional release that will come here. It's like, I will not hold this anymore. Here it is. And it's the most beautiful and authentic thing you can do emotionally. Don't be afraid to express your emotions. Don't be afraid to infuse the work that you do with love, care, and emotion. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. And don't be afraid to keep yourself grounded this month by saying no airs and graces, no bullshit, no anything, which you're good at. You don't have to have all of that. But you're saying without anything, here is the truth. And that gives you such a spurt of growth. Really, Leo, such a spurt of growth, definitely within your career. Definitely, definitely. I love it. I love that. I love the nice feeling at the end of the month where you emerge as a master of your own emotions in some way, and your own sense of spirituality. As I said to you a few moments ago, when you, Leo, are particularly for me, when you are in touch with your emotions and your spirituality and your psychic connection to spirit, that is where you kind of go through this alchemical process of leaving chapters behind to start a new chapter. And there's great power in that for you. So Leo, I'm going to leave it at that. As you know, this is the general landscape of the month. To get into the real details, to get super, super focused on everything from your career to love, if you're single, relationships, money, everything. You know what to do by now. You know to come to the VIMEO readings, the deep read where we open everything out and get stuck right in. The deep read, Leo, come along. It's all linked down there below in the description box. And let's see what this success is all about. And I look forward to seeing you there. But Leo, in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with all my love. And actually, I know you'll be feeling the love by the end of the month, because I feel strong heart energy here with you. So I'm going to leave you with even more of that love. And as always, a great big kiss. Mwah. Until next month, my beauty.